Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy. I'm just offering today some life questions that you may want to know about the occult or spirituality part of things, looking from a native perspective. Um, so today I just wanted to just check in and just see how everybody's doing. I see that we have two people here. We're just going to do some card readings, offering the free reading with spirit and enjoying life. I currently have come up with an offering of allowing. This is one of the dream catchers that I made, and I make them in keychains as well, or like mirror ornaments and everything. Um, so I'm thinking about possibly doing a draw for one, and offering the free shipping, everything to send it to the winner. I do have ones that are interchangeable as well. I do make these myself. They're handmade, and a lot of them are recycled products that I use. I don't really like to get into wasteful management. We only take what we need type thing. But I do make these for sale as well. I do make large ones anywhere from like 14 inches down to like 2 inches, like an actual like tiny fob keychains. So that's just an example of one that I do make for a keychain format. There's other more extravagant ones that I have made that are more instrumental into the mirror. I make them so that you can clip them onto the mirror and take them off easy with a chain. This is just a few of the ideas that I've had and I've done. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, so I put a lot of time into my dream catchers. So today we're going to do like a question and answer thing, and I'm possibly going to actually finish off a dream catcher that I've been working on. So I'm thinking about maybe having a draw at the end of October for all people that have subscribed or made comments on my videos. I'll be going through them and taking the names that have commented or had readings done, or that have subscribed to my channel. You like, comment, and share, and your name will be put in for the end of the month draw to receive a dream catcher that I have on say in stock. I do have a couple of these brown ones still left. Um, are gorgeous with the peacock feather. I still have one on. I think I have two left of this one. I think there's one that's still in the process of being made. They're all handmade authentically with me. I take great pride in the work that I do. I don't stop until it's absolutely perfect. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to making a dream catcher and custom sized ones as well. Um, so today we're just gonna just have a Q&A answer. If there's like a question you want to know about how I became into a position where I am now, anything about my skills are set. But yeah, so I do use consult tarot cards. I don't read them as normal tarot cards. If you're new to my channel or new to a live stream, I don't do the traditional reading. I kind of read into the card instead of letting the card read to me. I think it's more effective that way. I also use a pendulum for yes and no questions. I do like to be on top and being spiritually well for this. I've been getting off of a cold that's kind of hit me just randomly, but taking the time to rest and everything after I do my readings is very important. It does draw a lot of energy out of me, but for the most part, I try to keep it very simple, laid back. I don't really have too many guidelines or rules placed on my readings. I don't expect the person I'm reading for to have any negative outcome. And if there is, I will tell you the straight truth that I get from the cards. I won't sugarcoat it. Whereas a lot of maybe some people kind of sidestep the situation for you. I won't sidestep it. I'll take you right through it. So if you can't handle being told constructive criticism, mind you, but it's not sugarcoated. I'm like the best friend that you have that will tell you straight to your face, you don't look good in that color, or you got this going on, and I'll be honest and straightforward with you. I don't chase any bullshit. I don't create bullshit. I like to have positive energy around me at all times. But still, with the negative, we wouldn't be balanced without the negative, right? So I'm just going to start. I don't have, I have to go and buy wooden matches. So today I have to use lighter, so bear with me. This is not something that I traditionally do. It's not recommended because we like to use like paper or wooden matches because it brings the fire source back to its most natural state of being, which is closest to being an actual tree or coming from Mother Earth, right? This is a man-made item, so it's kind of like a little taboo. But if you don't have a light, by all means use it. Okay, so I'm gonna light the candle. This is the fire that I'm lighting that creates light and energy for us. Um, we have the water that we need to be very careful with when we have proper water balance within our systems. And we've got the earth and just a bit of smudge medicine to light up and just pay respect to the energies that are giving me the opportunity to be able to channel for them. And then I have my, of course, eagle feather that you spread it with, and or you fan your smudge stick with. You can use basically any feather, something that has a bit of give to it. Like this one is very. This was given to me at a AA roundup, and it was given to me by a gentleman that had lost his hand. And because I was so honest with my sharing of my situation at the time, that he felt it was necessary for me to have this feather. It's my talking feather because that's how I received it. Um, it's been through battles, like we all have. Not even everything remains perfect after you've been through a war. So that's just that. Um, Blue Ivy. Oh, hi, Jessica. Sorry, I didn't see you pop in there. So yeah, so this is just, you can basically use any large feather that resonates with you, anything that you want to draw your energy with, that resonates with you, you'll get better results. If it's a traditional way that you want to be doing things, by all means do it. If there's a certain technique that you like, preferably work with it. There's nothing saying you can't do anything that you don't want to do. The universe does give you choices in matters of life, and they will provide you with perfectly given answers at the right timing. The one thing I did learn when I started back into my spirituality and doing this was it's not always the first answer that you get. Sometimes you have to wait for the card to really give you an answer. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not meant to be the answer that you're looking for. If it does feel right, by all means, even if it does kind of stomp on your spirit a little bit, that's just making it so you can build a stronger foundation with yourself. All right, so that's the way I look at things. I don't look at everything as black and white. There is a lot of color, there is a lot of avenues, there's a lot of different things that you can do with your life. So I'm gonna not light my smudge because this one I'm gonna use for blessing my house later. That one is just there so that it can be blessed so that I can use it for later. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna light an incense stick. Um, and I usually buy the little packages. Like you can get any of them, any ones that resonate with you. So I've got balance, soothing, and energized. So we're gonna burn a jasmine one today because I'm a little bit tired from yesterday. So I need some energizing energy around me. And this comes in handy even when you want to do like your personal smudge, you can do it even with an incense stick. It's not, it's still at its most normal state, for what a smudge stick can use, right? I am having some smudge sticks delivered. You can use any shell. You can get them at your local beach. So yeah, just light the incense stick. I never blow it out. I allow it to burn out on its own. So it'll tell you when it's basically ready to be blown out. And it may burn for a few seconds. Oh, I'm shaky here. Hang on a minute. But I always allow it to burn out on itself. I get more effect. For me personally, it's more settling to me to allow it to do its own thing and let the universe take a lead in that. So it's still hanging on there, and there we go. So now we have the smoke that we can sit and we can cleanse everything. I did cleanse my crystals last night, so I'm not really too concerned about cleansing that. But we're just going to bless the whole area. Basically, I go around in circles, right, to seal everything in for the positive and the negative, to be able to return back to its most purest state. That would be able to get an accurate reading today for whoever happens to pop in. All right. So, how did you like your reading last night, Blue Ivy? Did you like your actual reading that I gave you last night? Was it helpful and was it informative for you? So I'm just curious as to what if you had any questions from yesterday's reading that I could clarify for you too, if that's what you would like. Um, I'm just basically here to be of service, offer, some insight into people's situations or problems or whatever. No sugarcoating, like I said. So we're here for good intentions. We don't like to have any bad intentions, even though it may come up in a card. The bad intention isn't specifically meant to cause you any harm. It's to give you some insight into maybe some darker sides of your spirit that you need to look at or possibly clear. Um, so whatever works for you, whatever resonates and helps you. I take, like I said yesterday, I take different parts of my spirituality that I've learned over the years from from religion to shamanism to the occult. I've even sat back and really thought out what I really wanted to do with this, and it's more or less I get the same answer. It's to be of service and to be able to offer insight into someone's situation or something that'll help their being better. So yeah, so I also like to be able to sit back and get a clearer reading. So sometimes the answers don't come right away. Like I said, they sometimes take a bit. But I do use the Rider-Waite deck. I am going to be getting some different cards, more for the style of reading that I want to do. These are just general ones. I happen to have grabbed them online. You can get them anywhere online. They say that there's ones that aren't authentic. I have yet to see the ones that aren't authentic or that are a bit different to read with. But I don't think it's basically your energy that you're putting in. You're cleansing them. You're putting your energy in, asking your energy guides, whatever it is. Everybody can learn to do tarot. It's how it resonates with you. There's nothing saying that nobody can't do it, right? Oh, you're most welcome, Jessica. That's awesome. That's so happy for you guys. Um, so yeah, basically it's just you can basically read for anyone, and it's when you fine tune and you do your meditation. That's how I started, was to really fine tune my energies and my guides. Um, I had to start with my meditation. That's what opened Pandora's box for me, and it's been, I wouldn't say a scary journey, but it's been a very rude awakening at some times in my life, that I had to actually go back to and work through, that I just refuse to look at. Situations that you think that are gone, that you've dealt with them, they happen to manifest back up when you're actually doing your personal healing. Um, I found that I have found that when I started doing my healing, I came into a position where I was looking at things that had happened back when I was like 6, 7 years old that I just totally shut down and didn't deal with. I thought I had. No, it came smack dab right into my face, and that was it. You're dealing with it, and this is how they work. You can either have the energies forcing you to deal with your past or PTSD, past traumas, situations in life that you didn't feel treated you right. You have to be accountable for all your actions. And when you do your healing or your discovery, you will find that they are very, very blunt and straightforward. So that's why I like to take mine and do it very straightforward, no bullshit. This is the truth, so help you God type thing. It's not meant to harm you. It's to help you get through that point of healing that you may be finding yourself in a rut with, um, to better assist your experience to be in a more positive one. I jumped in with both feet. I didn't stop, and I didn't take the advice of some people that offer advice when you're doing healing. I personally went through, it went on for about 3 years for me before I actually got to a position where I can actually handle even discussing some of the things that I went through in my life, my trauma based things that I do share once in a while. If it happens to be helpful to someone, I love sharing it and being able to make the experience better. Um, what else? As far as making your medicine, um, you can make medicine out of any herb. You can actually put it all together. I like to always Google certain like plants, or herbs. I know that I have a park across the street that I like to go and get cedar from. It's those cedar wood chips. You can use those, um, and mix it in or crush it up and make a powder and burn that as well. It doesn't have to be, um, you know, made by anyone. You can make your own medicine, things that resonate with you, say like sage, rosemary, thyme, whatever you want to put. Look them up, and Google. I believe spiritual medicine, uh, how to make your own. I guess I should do a video on that too. I'll make a note of that to make a video on spiritual medicine and how to make it work. and benefit you to your highest potential. I also have my water. Like we are water beings, we have majority water, but we also need light, which is the fire, the earth. And you just pay respects to the ancestors, the generations before us that have brought us here, and being able to share their insightfulness, their intuition. It took me a while to get back into doing this. I used to be able to really channel really well when I was younger. My spirit was a little bit more healthy then. But over time, you learned that you can recreate anything for yourself, with a positive and negative. Like they're really, people say that demons are like black magic. I don't feel that they are. They're here to teach us a lesson and bring out the darkest, more scary side of things for us. I have had, demons leave marks on my hand because, and I've heard in my house, I've had clairaudience where I've heard them say, "Get going, get moving, like or love, share your story." And so when my spirits come through my box and they're telling me things like this, is positive. I was really shocked that I wasn't getting a lot of the demonic energies coming through. I would have some pop in, but I would ask that the house spirits and energies that were here before that energy came in to escort it and to neutralize it, more or less. And they've been very well that way. They will. You ask the universe will provide, and I mean like the universe, like the energy and using your vibration and your words very carefully. Even your thought can have an effect on the outcome of something. That's why I try not to bring myself into the readings. I stand from outside the box when I do a reading. I don't want any of my energy affecting it to get the most accurate reading. Yeah, and the other thing is always start a day with a cup of coffee. No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm glad that you told your husband, Jessica. I'm really grateful that I was able to help you last night. It made me feel very well at the information I gave you. I do feel that you're going to have blessings come to you when you put it out there for the universe to kind of figure it out for you. The universe will end up giving you something back. Uh, but remember that it's not going to happen just at a snap of a finger. You have to have a little bit of patience. Like Temperance didn't want to get involved in someone's reading last night, and that was because the person wasn't hearing the actual messages that were being received. I'm not sure who that was, but afterwards I drew a couple of cards, and it seemed that somebody is still confused about where they want to go with their path. I don't know if that was somebody that I'm going to interact with today, possibly, and being in tune to that is just a blessing in itself. So we're going to smudge the cards today. We're going to release all the energy that was brought into the cards last night, and we're going to start with a fresh kind of energy field around the cards today. So we just go in and we ask that the universe give us blessings and the proper messages, even if they're hard messages that we don't want to hear right now, that we will be able to understand them for our best abilities to have a better experience and personal gain and trust with the universe. Thank you. All right, so I enjoy doing this. Like, this is just, this is getting back to my spiritual side of things. Being Native First Nations and being adopted in my life. I was adopted when I was very young. I was taken away from my mother. There was a big scoop thing that went on back in the 60s all the way until the 90s. Um, and so I was not raised in a traditional Native home. I've had to teach myself all the things basically cultural to myself. I've been self-taught. I haven't gone and sought out a actual teacher because I'm stubborn that way. I like to learn on my own. Uh, I don't like it when somebody's forcing something that they believe in that rubs against me. Right? That just doesn't work for me. I want to have like almost like a puzzle fit, right? Like a puzzle piece fitting with everything that I do, so that I can make that nice big brighter picture for myself, for you, the viewers, people that comment or having a situation. I always try to do with the best intention. Sometimes they don't give me the best intention, but that's because there's a situation or an energy around that person that needs to be looked at. Um, so if there's any questions you guys need today, I would be great to answer them. But I'm going to just pull a few cards today, just kind of get a general read on what is our days for current situations happening for us, for the ones that are here. We'll deal with things as they go. If there's anything that resonates for any of you, just let me know. Comment in the live chat for sure, and let me know if that kind of resonates for you. Uh, I don't like pulling cards that, are negative, but I do that anyway. I still will bring the negative in because you can't turn anything into a positive without a negative. It can't work on its own. They attract each other or they repel each other, and that's kind of like going like this in your lifeline, right? So you're constantly over and weaving and everything else in your life, right? So you're always crossing paths with people that are negative, but you still keep moving forward, right? It just helps a little bit to maybe better understand the situation from an outside perspective. So we'll cut the cards today and we'll ask that the spirit guides and energies give us positive, and even if there's a little negative, to be able to show through as well. Oh, we got the devil in reverse. So this isn't the end. there's not going to have to be a spiritual death. We had this car show up for someone yesterday, and it's in reverse. I don't know if you remember that, Blue Ivy, from last night. We had the devil show up for someone last night, and it was in regards to, I think, a relationship. Um, so I don't think that relationship. I'm going to just kind of resort down back to that situation. The relationship's not going to end. That relationship that we were dealing with another viewer. The answer is the opposite today. See, it becomes something else. Any message is a good message to me. Guidance is always good. That's awesome. Thank you, Jess. So it doesn't mean that you have to end a relationship. The relationship can be worked on. Um, Situations may change, and that's how quickly they can change. Like the universe will give you answers, and the relationship is like this. I see this as like a marriage. Maybe this is in regards to you, Jess, today. Maybe the marriage to you guys it doesn't have to end. It doesn't have to be weakened by anything. He's in reverse. He's below you now, right? He's supporting you guys up here now. It's like the reversal energy that has come out. That this situation that I know that you were talking about yesterday with uh, with me last night is in the reverse now. So it's taking the universe is taking the information that was given last night and it's reversing it now because it didn't feel that energy was a good energy to have out for the different intentions for the you know because when you have it upside straight up, it's like somebody else is in control. But now it's the opposite. So the two people that in the relationship I'm seeing is, you know, doesn't need support. It's strong. It's very strong. You've got chains attaching you together. So the strength in the relationship is a lot stronger than it was. Like being upside down, a roundabout, whichever way it comes, there's always a different message that you can see within the card. So the bond between these two people, which could be you, Jess, actually, is so strong, and you don't have to worry about anything. You know, like um, doesn't have to be any fire now. The fire is being pushed back, like you're pushing back on the energy that we saw yesterday. You're pushing back and saying, no, we don't need to have, you know, a phone, a blowout or anything else or cause any drama in the relationship because it's a strong relationship and a strong bond between the two of you. So maybe this is for you, Jess. And he's basically the universe is surrendering to you to allow you to experience what the universe has in store for you. So we're gonna pull a clarifying card on the devil card, please, for this situation, for this couple that we are channeling right now. Okay, so now we have the King of Wands in reverse. King of Wands in reverse to me, it feels like you're settled in where you need to be. You don't need to make any rash decisions. You don't need to move forward very fast. It's not like a situation that you have to let air out. Okay, let the chips fall where they may. There isn't really a meaning for anybody to be superior to one another in this relationship that we're looking at. They're surrendering their spiritual side to the situation to better please it, right? So if it was this way, I would think that that person was looking away, that he had given up, he's searching somewhere else, right? But that's not the case here. We had it in reverse, so it's willing to take a look at this situation again, seeing as he's facing this card now, he's willing to relook this situation over for the better interest of all, right? Uh, there is a lot of positive energy. And the circle of life is there. Um, I see there's a salamander basically eating his own tail, so he's made a complete circle. Um, and I think that's what the reflection of maybe this is to be able to reflect onto that circle of situations that have led you guys to a more stronger thing, and not to forget about them, if that helps. Anything else that I can see in here? I see like there's a lot of information coming through, a lot of information, uh, but it's a good avenue to go on. It's giving you a green light that this situation that you've been kind of muddling over is okay to go and move forward with. Um, Whichever situation has come up in the last 24 hours for you. Um, it's very relaxed. He's looking at the situation from a different perspective. Um, so maybe that is maybe the conversation you had last night, confirming for you that the message that you got yesterday is now being weighed on with your husband. So maybe that's what maybe that's what this is about. Who knows, right? It's a very positive standstill moment, but it's being weighed in a different perspective is what I'm getting, and I just got confirmation through the energies in my house that this is exactly what it is. It's going to be a more positive, more stable, more strong, beneficial relationship for both of you. I guess because you're the one that's talking right now in the chat, so this must be for you because it's going off the energy of what we were just talking about, and you had mentioned about your husband and stuff. So it's a positive outlook. I don't think of them when they're in reverse like this as a negative. I think it's more of stepping back and taking a look at a situation. Doesn't mean they have to end. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a negative, but it'll be a time for reflection. I think that's what this is talking about. And something about animals. Do you have pets at all, Jess? Because I'm seeing animals in this card, um, or possibly maybe a Leo involved in your life, maybe, and you might end up. Is there a history of your family having twins, Jess, or your husband's? I'm just curious because I see twins in this card, which is a Gemini energy, but it could also mean that the fertility thing that we had talked about maybe lead you to having twins, because I see two of everything in the circle of life. So I don't know if that happens. I'll be shocked. So just remember, just to reflect, take a step back, and just focus on the situation that you're building a strong relationship with. That could be the universal, connecting with the universe to get good things in return, and to always be aware of what you're thinking about and standing outside and taking a good hard look at situations. Um, yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome. That's confirmation that you got, more confirmation today in regards to your situation. I'm very grateful that I was able to help you with that. There was confirmation being given to you today. That's awesome. I really, really am. I'm really, really excited about that. Um, he is a Leo. There you go. Okay, so because we see the lion here, there's a lion. There's the twins, um, but there's two lions, almost like protection. Oh, you are a Leo. Oh, well, there you go. Then that explains that one for you. That's amazing. That's really, really cool. So this is definitely for your intuitive side of things. I'm really glad that you guys can, build and strengthen your bond between the two of you without having a third party or anybody else involved. That is strong enough just with the two of you to be able to fight whatever troublesome situations may arise in the near future. But I do see that you guys are reflecting on it, and looking at evenly, like you're looking straight in the eye of the situation that might cause grief, but you guys are at eye level. You guys are seeing eye to eye, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing that you are able to move in that direction. Um, and there's a lot of support around you. I see a lot of people coming around, being more supportive in situations, or being more receptive of your situation. You're a Pisces. Okay. Well, I see the twins. So I see a Gemini energy coming through. But I don't see any water yet. We'll see if we can pull some more cards and see if we get some more, if we get the water sign to pull out. But you're definitely seeing eye to eye. You're reflecting on the situation, which is a good positive note for you to have. So we'll pull one more card for Jess's reading today, just to confirm things for her. Um, Page of Pentacles. I don't do based on the actual meaning of the card. I read into the card, but there is a lot of strength, and it's a new beginning. It'll be a new start, um, and it's going to be something that you're going to put a lot of effort into. It's going to be physically you want to be healthy and strong. As far as your pentacle, you will be blessed with something in return from asking the universe in a respective way that your pentacles will start coming in again. Um, Definitely um, stay balanced. Um, like he's standing firmly on one foot right now, but he's got his foot kind of out to the side like he's going to balance something. So maybe your balance, you have to really work on balancing things for yourself. Um, but you're very, very standing firm in what you expect, but you're taking the time to evaluate everything, right? Which is a good thing. You have to be critical on yourselves, and sometimes it's hard to see, but we still have to do it. We still should do it, I should say. We still have an experience that maybe we need to look at before we can actually start on this new path together. But they're all in revert, so that doesn't mean that this is all bad news. This is actually just reflection time to me, reflecting on what you have right now and being grateful for it. Learning to do the balancing act between the two of you will be a little more easier. You'll be a bit more balanced, and there's a really good bond there. So there you go, Jess. That's yeah. So I don't know. I see twins in this card right here. I don't know if you can see that right at the top of the chair. That's a possibility of an outcome that could come as far as the circle of life for you. So I don't know if there is, you know, um, I don't know. I really would really, even if you were to get pregnant in the next few months, how long? It's 9 months, right? So it's October. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 9 months. June. There's your Pisces right there. So if you get pregnant in the next near future, that could be your key to fertility. Is a good time right now. That's like, I don't understand how that can be so accurate right now. That's crazy that even they can actually make the universe work for you. Um, I meant I'll be shocked took, but very happy and blessed to conceive twins. So there you go. Confirmation for you that now is a good time. Maybe your fertility is at a good zone right now, but remember to eat healthy, balance your energy, don't get stressed out, and just be happy and be glorious and just enjoy it. Enjoy that one pentacle, that blessing that's coming to you. Enjoy it, like mold it into what you want it to be. That first pentacle will start everything for you, and anything beyond that. But you're gonna be admire that gift, and you're gonna appreciate it, and you're gonna cherish it. Like you're looking at it like with both hands, and you're seeing things for what they are, right? So that's just confirmation. I'm really grateful that I was able to share that with you and give you some more confirmation. And I'm blessed to be able to, and honored, like my name was Kichais. I'm an honorable person. I like the fact that I was able to give you some more guidance today. That's awesome. So there you go, Blue Ivy. What a reading for you again today. I was very, very blessed to give that to you. I enjoy it. It makes me feel good that I'm able to share positive, intuitive messages for you. So if there's anyone else that wants to ask a question, that's fine. I'm here. I'll be here for the next probably half an hour or so. See how things go. And it's crazy, isn't it? I know some people just look at it and go, well, what the heck is going on here? Like, why is this really happening? And it's putting the energy out there. Like I put like the positive notions when I speak, and I put energy out to the world. I usually get good results back. I do it with a good intention. I don't try to be judgmental of a certain situations that maybe I don't want to hear about, or that the person doesn't want to hear. But sometimes that hard truth is something that you might end up finding is a benefit, not really a hindrance. So yeah, so I don't know. We can just sit and chat, and I'm just starting another one, another dream catcher here, so I can Let's weave a dream while we sit here and chat. How does that sound? You're very welcome, Jess. I mean, Blue Ivy. I should make you a moderator when things get more busy. I actually just started doing these live streams only a few weeks ago, but I enjoy doing them. It boosts my energy. Oddly enough, it can still boost my energy. It makes me feel good that I'm able to pass on some good messages to people. Um, what else is there? Yeah, so I don't know. It could be a Gemini baby, a baby born in June. So maybe not actually the twins. Like if you go count 9 months from today, that would put you in June, which is Gemini. So you know, if there's you know baby making going on, then that would be probably a good time if that's what you're wanting. But make sure it's a mutual arrangement that you have with your partner. But that would be an absolute blessing for you to end up having a June baby, because that would be 9 months from now. So that would explain having a Gemini energy coming in, right? So, so there you go. You might be having a baby in June. Now you'll have to keep me posted on that for sure, 100%. I really like to know the results of that. That's awesome. I'm glad you're smiling. I'm glad you're smiling. So yeah, so I don't know if you have other topic ideas for future shows. I'm gonna start taking notes of what I would like to show people about the native culture. Um, Another thing that I like to do is they recommend, like when I do dream catchers, I always have somebody bring me a pouch of tobacco because we use it as a sacred smudge. You can use a cigarette that's not lit. You make sure that it's blessed before you put it into your medicine. But it should be um, not used. A good thing also for tobacco is to bless your doorway with it. You can just sprinkle a little bit on the ground or on the door. It'll help deter the dark energy and the negative energy. It'll kind of like put a wall up for it, like a spiritual wall. Um, I do that for the simple fact that it keeps the positive. It kind of neutralizes the darker energy. I don't really have a lot of dark energy in my house. I do have some that has manifested in like little smokes of like little black whiffs of smoke, which was really, really weird. I saw that about, what was it, 4 or 5 days ago. I noticed it and I thought, what the heck is burning? Because it was like a black smoke, but it wasn't a lot of black smoke. It was just centralized in my bedroom where I used to have a lot of dark energy staying. Um, I've taken pictures where it looks like there's like entities within the bedroom. It's bizarre. It is really bizarre. I'm not scared of them though, but I acknowledge that they're there. I just acknowledge it, go on about my business. I don't let it. Don't pay any heed or pay any attention to it, because if it's trying to draw energy from me, I have to block that because the dark energy doesn't need to be manifesting as that until I can do a cleansing and speak to the energies itself and explain to them that no harm is going to come from you, but not to enter my realm and think that you're going to manifest in my spiritual realm or with anybody that is in my house and that it can attach, right? I hope you do. I really do. I really see good things coming for you guys. Um, but yeah, so it's just making sure that you have respect for everything and an understanding that everything matters. My saying is when you're looking through God's eyes, everything matters. And that's why nothing ever matters to me, because it's not me that I see. I see everything that's around me that is actual things that matter. I always will put myself behind a wall that I'm not seeing myself, because everything outside is more beautiful than with inside sometimes. But it helps me to understand that I can look deep within myself to pull out the darker sides, or the little corners that I didn't want to deal with, that may be hiding some past traumas. I still have situations that I work through. When I feel that I'm ready to deal with them, I ask my universe to help me easily get through something. I ask for the blessings and knowledge, and sometimes I even say a prayer. I do at times get on my hands and knees and humbly ask for assistance from my higher self or God or whichever is your belief, that you can actually draw on almost anything that you wish. It's like giving you a genie in a bottle with unlimited amounts of genies. So it's good. So I like to, make my own medicine. I just, what I would do when I'm gathering medicine, and this is what I was told, only take what you need. That's because Mother Earth only has so many resources, and a lot of her resources are being sucked up by greed, right? A lot of people are getting greedy with resources. So whenever I go out, I go to the park across the street, and they have a very beautiful garden. They've got a native coastal walk path that runs through that I like to walk down. I'll have to take you guys for a walk with me one day and show you some amazing things. Um, it's a beautiful park, beautiful park. Um, I also found one time when I was looking at the park itself, it was showing me another Bear Creek Park, and I think why I get so many of the transition stated um, energies that come through is because the one park that it overlaps um, and is identical layout to the map to the park. It's got the same name, same park size, but in a different area of the United States. I'm in Canada. This is all the way down in the United States, in Richmond, Virginia. There's a park called Bear Creek Park as well, um, and it's got the same corners, same like avenues running along by it. It's bizarre. It blew my mind. So you talked about all these people having all this weird stuff. If you were to see how this overlaid and how it actually has a burial ground, like a cemetery in it. I don't know if it's still active cemetery or not, but I felt one time when I had a lot of energies here with me. What the heck is that in my window? Oh, it's a shadow. Okay, never mind. I see like my okay. Um, I've gone and taken my energies that have been brought to me or have come with me or came to me through the time portal or whatever this may be, because I found that even some of the people that were mentioned from my spirit box was absolutely bizarre. People that I knew were coming through from the other side, and it kind of went like what the hell. I thought I was losing my mind, but then my partner was in the room and he ended up putting a thumbs up, and he had said to the energies, I said, "What am I doing now?" And they said, "Thumb up." And I went, "Well, okay, this is for real. This is not a joke. Like it doesn't even have to be access to a Wi-Fi. You can take it. I'm planning on hopefully being able to do at a cemetery. Seeing as Halloween's coming up, we have a cemetery in another city that's close to me that I'm willing to go and actually take my spirit box down and actually try to communicate with some spirits. Um, it's really neat. I don't fear it. I think it's absolutely amazing. I absolutely think it's amazing. Um, oh, really? Wow, that's awesome. So there's distance between you, right? Yeah. So Richmond, Virginia was where I had seen this park, and it has an actual graveyard in it. So when I had taken some of my energies to allow them to transition out now, I get like an overbearing. It's almost like being stuck in a balloon house where the walls are balloon and they're just squeezing you after a while. So I take them. I asked them to walk with me, and then it was weird because I was walking down the street, and it was like I could feel them like jumping back into their graves, like into the graves where they were from. Um, which I've had weird experiences looking up when there's been a solar eclipse, and there was one that had a huge halo around it, and it was like it had opened up like a spiritual porthole, and there was people there. People had looked and went, "What the heck?" There was other people that witnessed this where I was sitting, and I just was staring up at the sun, and there was this huge halo around it, and it was like this portal opened, and you could see almost like the clouds being sucked up into it, like almost like the energies took manifestation through the crowd, and it looked like it was actually being sucked back into a different dimension almost. It was very bizarre. I really wondered about that, but um, it's gorgeous. It's like a mini Garden of Eden in the summertime. It is the most beautiful park. I also had an experience of when I went into the park. I went into this grove kind of thing, um, and that's because my guides were advising me to go through this spiritual path for me to go through certain things, right? And it really woke me up when I was standing in the grove, and I, no word of a lie, swear on my own life that this, it was like a centurion's light speed had slowed just enough for me to be able to catch him, but it was like he was spinning around, invisible thread around the grove that I was standing in. There's a tree that's broken in the middle of the grove that grows these wild mushrooms. I'm not, I'll show the picture, but I'm not about to go and eat them. We have bizarre things happening within the park itself. There's been portals opened by numerous amounts of people that even my partner has gone um, out through a pathway there, and it was dark out. And he came up to a gentleman standing right smack dab in the middle, didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't even blink an eye for just random. And then he went down on about another 20, 25 feet on the trail, and there was another person right in the middle of that, right in the middle of the path, just standing there, just empty looked. And it freaked him out. He's had experiences where it's been almost like, it feels like the movie Seven at times, where you're walking down the street and it's like people are just like eyeballing you and you can't figure out why. I'm coming to the understanding that this is what demonic energy um, has the ability to do. Um, he felt like he was like they were looking like through his soul, like looking for his soul, like the innards of his body, to see if they can manifest. And he blocks them. He doesn't allow it anymore. It did once to him. And I explained to him, you can't have anything possessing you. Um, and because I've had experiences where I've been choked out in my kitchen, and hearing them repeatedly said, you cannot leave, you cannot leave. And I don't know if I was going through a death experience, another spiritual death. I've had probably three of them, and it was choking me, and I was trying to pull the hands down from my throat, saying they're choking me, and my partner ran out, and he was like, what the heck is going on here? I said, they're choking me, you've got to get them off me. And he picked me up, put me on the couch, and I could still feel them. I've been choked out in my sleep because it's like they want messages to get given across, but they don't have the right channel with the people that they're dealing with. They come to me wanting to do the right thing and to be able to do better, so they don't even have to come through this spiritual plane or physical plane that we have on earth, right? So it's a very, very different aspect of life. Like I said, I've done spiritual work when I was even younger. I would see like things hanging out in my closets, darkness, and revealing themselves. I've taken pictures. I even have pictures that my grandfather took back when I was like 7 years old. And in the background, in the mirror, it's very dark on one mirror. And if you look really close, you can see like a demon with eyes looking at you. And even in there's a reflection in one of the tiles on the fireplace where it's reflecting, and it looks like a demonic energy sitting there. There's also a spot in another part of the mirror. They had a whole wall that was mirror, and there was by this one clock, and there was another item beside it. But right between the two, it's like a face is looking at you between from the mirror. It's portal, and looking at you while you're standing there taking the picture. And I have these pictures that anybody can sit and look at. I should grab them for one of my readings. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. But I even had to burn a picture because it freaked me out so bad. I had a picture of me, my mom, and my aunt's dog in this picture, and it was in front of a house that we lived in back in Alberta when I used to see all this weird stuff going on. That I used to be freaked out going downstairs. But I looked at the picture, and this blew my mind. I actually burnt the picture because it manifested in the picture, and it looked like the cat that I have, a black and gray cat, was in the windowsill. Now that is blowing my mind. I burnt the picture because I didn't want anything manifesting from there anymore. I don't know if that how that happened, but it showed my cat, a gray and white cat, in the windowsill of the house that I used to live in. I've taken pictures where I look at the picture and I take a picture, and the light will actually light up a demonic energy within the picture. And these are pictures that were taken when I was younger. It was like I have brought with me whatever past residual black magic stuff or demonic energy stuff that I was doing in a past life um, has come with me. Like it's attached its residual energy with me in this lifetime. That's why I don't fear it, because obviously there's a reason for them to have to be able to come through without being able to be harmful for anybody. But nobody wants to hear, you know, that they can actually be honestly good, right? It was a bit to get used to at first. It definitely was. I don't fear it, and I never really feared it except when I was younger. It kind of set me on like a spiral going, I'm not doing this. I'm not being heard. I would tell my mom, I was adopted, and she would be like, oh, you're just seeing things. You're just, well, damn right I'm seeing things, and I don't like what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Like 7 years old, and you're seeing like demonic energies and hiding in your own closet away from them is like, and there was nobody. I didn't watch scary movies when I was younger. I didn't do all that kind of weird stuff when I was younger. This is like 6, 7 years old. I'll have to find one of the pictures. But it blew my mind. And my brother showed me the first one, and he says, have you seen that? He took a picture, and the way that it captured the picture, it actually revealed demonic energy in the picture itself. So I don't understand it. I don't question it. I know it's real, and that's all I need to know. I have an opportunity that I can pull energy and assistance from that darker side when somebody's putting a spiritual attack against me. I will call in the darker energies to go and deal with the spiritual attack and send the karma back to where it came from. That's one thing I will do, 100%. I will not have anybody spiritually attacking me. Um, that's why I don't. Um, I'm not like pure in everything that I do. I do mix around with a lot of different elements of magic. I don't like the black magic though. Like I said, I did a spell. I helped a gentleman get communication with his ex, which did happen, and he was grateful for that. I have a meeting with him today, actually. But it's mind bending. It is. It can freak the average person out. Um, like even my partner, he gets freaked out when I start even talking about it. It rubs him the wrong way. He gets freaked out because he's experienced it here as well, and he's trying to figure out within himself how is this going to benefit me in my journey. Right? There's always a positive and negative that you need both to make a connection. Right? So yeah, it was really hard. I thought that I was losing my mind. I had experienced this one situation when I went. I was manifesting, and I went through a spiritual death, and it was. I think it was me leaving the religious part of myself behind. I do still enjoy reading about God and everything else. Don't get me wrong, but I've taken a different approach to it because the traditional approaches that a lot of people seem to think that they know or they can do black magic, um, they incantate things that they don't know how to get rid of. And it gets scary for that person. I know it did for me for a while. I didn't question it, but I ended up in the hospital, and I literally felt like I was dying. I literally was feeling like I had gone through a death, and I had 4 security guards walking around me. I ended up doing um, almost like I was in a trance state, and it was like the first night, like the Jesus, the North Star, um, the angel coming down and picking showing each person to me, revealing them in a modern sense of like the 3 wise men. One was cut with a thumb, was cut, and I brought him over. He was a dark gentleman, and I brought him over to this lady that was giving birth to a child, right? That she was sitting there, and she looked at me. She says, "Is this really happening? This is really happening." And I said, "Yes, it's really happening." And so I grabbed the gentleman. I was in a trance state. I grabbed him. I brought him over, and I basically held his hand in my hand and sent some healing energy. He had ended up cutting his finger very, very deep, almost lost his finger, and next thing you know, he went back to sit at the cubicle he was in talking to a nurse, and they didn't even send him to the back that he was able to go home. They didn't even look at it, except for that he was going to have to maybe have a skin graft to cover that. But they didn't see any like profuse bleeding or anything, but to reattach the skin back to itself, he would have to get stitches. They didn't even give him stitches. Explain that. So the next person that was standing there, I ended up grabbing a person that was an East Indian gentleman. He had the water. He was standing there, and I said, "Please come with me. Please come with me." And he did. He acknowledged, the situation. Somehow he just felt really strange, I guess, too. Brought him over, and I blessed him, and I said, "You have to give the baby an offering for it to be able to come into this world on with a pure soul." So he offered his water to her. She took it, said thank you, handed it back to him. Then the third one came, and I had taken his hand, and I basically had blessed his blessing, gave him blessings from the spiritual world, from her baby. That is going to be a very intimate relationship with that child. Is going to be very different on the spiritual level. Then I went back, I laid back down, and next thing you know, I'm being taken to a different part of the hospital. And it was weird because the whole time I went through this experience, it was in a very public place, and there are a lot of people that had seen it. Now, I was walking through the hospital, and I was literally being held at my shoulders and turned when I needed to turn, like somebody was guiding me through there. My higher self was guiding me, saying, "You do not move until I say you do. You know, you don't be weirded out." And so I ended up walking, and I was walking back towards the children's ward to go and do healing, and I couldn't do that. And they stopped me. My energy stopped me right at the door and said, "You have to do healing, Karen. You have to heal somebody. You have to continue on your path of healing." And then I was told, "You don't move until I ask you to move, or do not follow all the temptations in life." And there was a lady at the other end of the hallway saying, "Come here, come here." And she was waving me in, trying to get me to come over. And I said, "No, I can't move yet. I'm not being asked to move yet." And that was, I guess, just a symbolism of don't follow the temptation. Don't follow the crowd. Don't follow, somebody asks you to do this, do this, do this. Don't do it. Really weigh out your options, because I'll always be guiding you. And it literally grabbed me at the shoulders and steered me through the hallways of the hospital. And I went into this one room where this lady was giving birth, and I don't know why I ended up there, or what the reason was behind going there, or if it was the actual baby that was being born ended up coming that fast after all that had happened. I never did get clarification on that, but I had been taken, and then I dropped to my knees right outside the nurse station, and I had started praying in a different language, and they just kind of looked at me and said, "You can't touch her, don't touch her, just leave her be. She's in a trance state, you cannot disturb it." And so they had four security guards walking around me like I was like some famous person. And I'd walk down, and then all of a sudden, while I was walking, I felt just like a possession had come over me, and I was literally crawling like in a horror movie. I was on my hands and knees, and literally stomach crawling along the floor for about 3 or 4 feet. And then I shot up, ran 6 feet, and dropped again at the bottom, dropped to my knees. And it was like an energy was being released from the lower half of my vibration, was being finally released from me to take away from me, so I didn't need to have to deal with any more dark energy. And even the nurses looked at me and said, "What the hell?" So anyways, I had gone into they had put me on a stretcher, and they had wheeled me into this to the secure area. um, and I had looked over, and I was manifesting things physically within a reality of this reality. And I had pictured, I had thought I seen my niece sitting as one of the nurses in the nurses cubicle area. And I said, "Hey, Desney." And she looked at me, and she's like, "Hi, Auntie, how are you?" And I'm like, whoa. Okay, so I was channeling information. It took possession of another person, and it blew my mind that I was going to fight tooth and nail, because there was a tooth and a piece of string on the windowsill where I was laying next to. So it's like, I'm going to fight tooth and nail to get through this, right? So then I ended up going through um, almost like a possession release, where I went almost like it felt like almost like there's a movie where the girl spits the exorcism. It was like I was doing my own exorcism from all the dark energy that I had brought into this lifetime. And I had dreamt that I was in a state of where it was like flooding, like the rain was coming down, that we had flooded, the whole area was all flooded and cleansed, right? So it was really bizarre. So they kept me in for a few more hours, gave me some shots, and this is what happens. I guess when you open your third eye, it can become very, how do you say, very real. Um, I wasn't fearful of it though. I couldn't figure it out why I didn't become so scared of it, except for when um, it attacked me in the room and tried to choke me. I didn't sleep in my bedroom for months, and that was at the beginning of my spiritual awakening, um, in my allowing my gifts to resurface for me, and dealing with everything, unpacking a life suitcase. It was just phenomenal what I went through, and then within 6 hours I was released and off home, and nothing ever bothered me after that. Um, I have experiences where even my partner will manifest. He can manifest really well. He's learning to get more in touch with that side of himself. But he would wish for something. He would ask the universe, "Could you please, you know, can I have access to receive one of these that I could really use?" And next thing you know, he'd be out, and he'd drive down the street, and the item would be sitting on the side of the road. Now that I have no explanation for. Um, but everything that did come into my house, I had a lot of people attaching to the items. So I ended up with a lot of energy within my house, and it was scattered everywhere. And it took me a long time to get it under control, probably about 2, 3 months before I actually was feeling like me again, like a whole person. Like I felt so shattered in myself. Um, but yeah, it's just a phenomenal experience, and I don't recommend you jumping full foot. If you're fearless, then do it. If you're not, opening up your third eye is very, very. I don't even know the word. I don't want to use scary because it's not scary, but it's like you just you're in awe. You're literally in awe with stuff that you get to experience. Uh, you know, so if you need help with anything that if you have, and some people actually trigger their third eye by um, randomly actually, and it freaks them out. You know, I've experienced it. I don't get freaked out by it. It's part of my life. It's always been there. I've always been having the skill set, and I wasn't ever too concerned about it, right? Um, but it was great. It was an experience that most people would kind of question as to what's going on. It doesn't for me. I just embraced it more because when you're dealing with them, I can always ask for help and assistance from them because I'm not doing it for my self benefication or self gratification. I'll draw on that energy to help balance a situation for something that may be out of balance, but not in the sense to harm anyone or do black magic against a person. That's not acceptable to me. It really isn't. When I do some of my magic, I do try to keep it with the good intentions, right? Okay, you have a great day, Jess. I'll see you soon. We'll talk again. I'll probably be live maybe later this evening around 10. Usually around 10:10, I'll maybe do a live stream for a night. It's Saturday night. Energy is feeling good, so I'm thinking I might maybe even go outside and have a outside reading in my backyard, right? So we'll see what happens. You have a wonderful day too, and I'm glad that I could give you some more answers. Have a great one. So yeah, so that's the amazing part, right? So yeah, I don't know if I can send a happy face here. It's not working on my computer here. I have it on a desktop. It's not doing very well today. But I'm trying to send you a happy face too, and it's not working. Oh, there we go. There, sent a bunch for you. So I hope you have a great day. I know I am. I'm going to be chillaxing, and hopefully, maybe the next time I see you, I can show you the result of this dream catcher I'm working on. But yeah, no, it was great to help you out. No problems there. And I'm grateful that I was able to give you some answers and some insight into whatever situations you possibly might be going through or whatever. So yeah, so I think I might call it quits too here. It is now an hour video, so I think that we will call it a day, and we'll talk later on. It'll be a fabulous day. Wish you love, light, peace, and happiness. Uh, so we're going to call her a day, and good luck with you all for your blessings for today. May the universe bless and grant you some, positive energy and everything. I say that with love and light and most utmost respect for the universe to provide for us. All right, you guys take care. We'll talk again real soon. All right, bye.